share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. Let me check the slides. Just 1 quick minute, I check the slides. Which slides I think I sent to you already, but let me just get them. Give me 1 minute, please. I get them. Okay, so the last time we were discussing a bill. The paper that was done in March, a bill was tested, albeit not substantively. It was a simple bill, yeah? So you guys, you might draft a bill in your exam, yeah? So let me share my slides on amending legislation, or rather amendment bills. Usually there might be need to amend an act. At some point you need to amend an act because, you know, law is very dynamic. Yeah, it keeps on changing. So at some point you might need to change something in a piece of legislation. You might even amend the constitution. It's possible to amend the constitution. And of course, you remember those issues of constitutional amendments. Yeah, it's possible to amend a statute, it's possible to amend a constitution, but of course you have to use you have to go through you don't insert some unconstitutional amendments. You have to use the correct way before you amend a statute. Okay, so amending legislation, you can amend a constitution through a constitutional amendment bill. You can amend a statute through an amendment bill. You can amend anything. It's possible to amend even rules. You can amend civil procedure rules. You can amend regulations. Basically, you can amend anything that is law, a statute, regulation, some civil procedure orders, or any statutory instrument. It's possible to amend. In short, you can amend anything. Yeah. So I want us to, by the way, I just scroll down to how you amend, because that's the most important question. I remember in that class, we tried to define what amending means. And we did say that amending will include repealing, it will include revoking, it will equally include rescinding, it will include cancelling, replacing, adding or varying, and doing of any two or more of those things simultaneously or in the same written law or instrument. Basically, anytime you're tampering with a statute, what you're doing, you're amending it. Yeah. So you can amend by cancelling, you can amend by replacing, you can amend by inserting, you can amend by substituting thereof. So anytime you tamper with a statute in any way, then you will ordinarily say that you're amending. And by the way, I hope you're not stressed because of, are you guys watching what's going on in Israeli and Gaza? It's so, God, it's very shocking. And then you wonder what, life is very fragile. Imagine you're just seated and then you die, like a building comes collapsing because someone sent an airstrike. Imagine. Yeah. So don't even take CLE very seriously. Life is extremely fragile. Anyway, so amending could be any one of those things. You repeal, you revoke, you rescind, you cancel, you replace, or you add something in a statute, or you remove something in a statute. So of importance for our purposes is jurisdictional nomenclature in amendment. So of course I remember from the last class, I was trying to tell us guys, unajua how we say article 2 sub-article 1 of the constitution. There is nothing like that. Yeah, so it's an article and then a clause. So you'll say article 2 clause 4. So just to remind ourselves, I'll go to the Constitution just to make sure that we are up to par. And of course, this wasn't a long time ago, but I'm alive to the fact that you guys have a lot in your brain. You might be saturated. So let's go to the statute, to the Constitution, and then we discuss. The reason why it's important for you to understand the nomenclature is because you might be told to amend paragraph A, and then you have no clue what a paragraph is. And usually, the article will be a number, okay? It will be a 2 like this. And then a clause will be in brackets. It will be a 4 in brackets, but a number. And then a paragraph would be an alphabetical numbers. So A, B, C in that order. And then a subparagraph is usually in Roman. Okay. So you will write your article as 2, and then you write your clause with brackets, and then you write your paragraph in alphabetical manner, and then your subparagraph is usually Roman numbers. So let's go to the Constitution. We contextualize what you're trying to say. So let me get the Constitution. I told you guys I don't have a copy, and I think last time I downloaded, but honestly I don't know where it is. So, but it's easy to get it anyway. So we are going to get one from Kenya Law, and then I'll show you what you mean by an article, what you mean by a clause, what you mean by a paragraph and a subparagraph. And it is of utmost importance for you to understand that, albeit it may seem not necessary. It looks like it's easy, but it's important for you to understand from the onset. Let me get a clause which has everything. Okay, let's use, there is one that we used last time. It has all those parts. It is this, was it 19? I don't quite remember, but yeah, so it was 17. We used 17. So you would say this is called an article. So it's called Article 17, revocation of citizenship. That's an article. And then this entire sentence is called a clause. Okay, this one that reads, if a person acquired citizenship by registration, the citizenship may be revoked if, and then give circumstances. So that is called a clause. And then this is called a paragraph. Okay, what you can, the D, okay, it's called a paragraph. And then this is called a subparagraph. So the way, if you want to read what I have highlighted, you will read Article 17, Clause 1, Paragraph D, Subparagraph 1. Okay, so when we start amending, if the examiner asks you to amend Paragraph B, you will ideally go here because this is the Paragraph B. If the examiner asks you to amend Article 17, Clause 1, Paragraph D, Subparagraph 2. This is what you will be amending. Okay, so that's the nomenclature: paragraph, clause, article, clause, paragraph, and then subparagraph. Do you have a question? Okay, sawa. Let's go back to the slides. We look at a statute, and then we'll start amending. So for a statute, on the other hand, it would be a section. You will say section 2 or whichever section, subsection, paragraph, and subparagraph. So for Act of Parliament, for statutes, usually we'll say section 2, subsection 3, paragraph D. And then how you write it, a section is written as a number, 1, 2, 3. And then a subsection is usually a number, but then you have to write it in brackets. And then a paragraph is, you write alphabet, but it has to be in brackets. And then as a paragraph, this is important, very important. You might write, let's say, you might write a paragraph like that. That is wrong, because a paragraph cannot, God, how do you undo? A paragraph cannot be Roman numbers. So it has to be alphabet, A, B, C, D, sawa. So don't forget how you write a section, how you write a subsection, how you write a paragraph, and how you ultimately write a sub-paragraph. Okay, so let's go to a statute and then we contextualize. Of importance is you have to remember how it's so easy for you to actually write a subsection like a number. You can write like that, and that is wrong. Okay, so remember how everything appears. But once we start drafting, amending, then it will all make a lot of sense. Okay, so let's get a statute and then we see what will be a section, a subsection, what will be a paragraph, what will be a subparagraph. I'm not sure what your favorite statute is. Let's check the new statutes for this, yeah? And then we use one of those. So let's get a statute and then we use it. We could use any statute. Let me check a statute. Let's use the Advocates Act. Let me project the Advocates Act. Okay, so here, cap 16. So let's scroll to one that has all those parts of the statute here. Okay, so this is section 13. Yeah, professional and academic qualifications. That's a section. And then this is a subsection, and note it is not written like a one without, it has to, you have to put parentheses. Okay, it's not called that. You have to enclose it. Yeah, so you write the word, you put it in brackets. It can be like the section, how it's written. So you're taking keynote of the distinction. So a subsection is this one. And then B is called a paragraph. And then this one is called a subparagraph. And of course, you can see how they are written. They are different. It's 13, this one like an enclosed, and then an alphabet, and then a Roman number for subparagraphs. So if you're told to amend section 13, subsection 1, paragraph B, you would amend this. So it's important for you to understand that, because, you know, ordinarily, if you don't know what a paragraph is, you'll amend the wrong thing, you know? So it's a section, subsection, paragraph, subparagraph, all right? Okay, by the way, if you have a question, just ask. No matter how, even if you think it's silly, just ask. Because when we start amending, it might be so difficult, it will be difficult if you didn't understand the nomenclature, okay? So let's go back to the slides. My assumption is you're good. Okay, so now I'll scroll down to amending, the language of amendment, how you amend each of those nomenclatures. You will amend, the way you amend an article is not the way you amend a clause, or rather, the language that you use while you're amending an article is not the same language that you use while you're amending a clause. So when you're amending an article in a constitution or a clause, you're either going to repeal that article or repeal and replace. You can never, ever, ever use any other language. You cannot say the article has been amended by deleting. Neither can you say the article has been amended by inserting. You're either repealing that article or you're repealing and replacing. Okay, let's go back to our article. We see how that would pan out. The article that you are using. Let's stop sharing this. We go back to our constitution. I'm not sure if I've closed it. I think I have. Just let me get it again. But don't judge me. I have an app on my phone for the constitution, but I'll download a copy. I think if you don't have a constitution, you look like you're not a serious person. Oh, there's a hand up. Yeah, please go on, Kiama. I'm sorry I couldn't see the hand. You know, if I'm sharing my screen, I can't see. So you just unmute and ask. But please go on.
Okay, thank you. My question was, when you were talking about the nomenclature hapo kwa constitution, I didn't hear sabbatical.
Okay, a constitution doesn't have sabbatical. Unaona how we talk hapa nje ati article 1, sabbatical 2. There is nothing like a sabbatical in the constitution. But I think we've normalized it. People talk like that. So we always say sabbatical. But what we call sabbatical, it's called a clause. Yeah? So we do not have a sub-article. It's called a clause. The correct term is a clause. But of course, even me, I would say every day, Article 2, Sub-Article 1, because that's how we are used to. It's so hard for you to say clause. People will think you're wrong. But ordinarily, what you call sub-article is a clause. We don't have anything like a sub-article.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so let's go to the Constitution and then we try appeal an article. We will appeal article, we will amend Article 17, the one that you were using for citizenship. Do you know, guys, in this country, you can buy citizenship. You have a clean million, Bob. Yeah? Everything is possible in this country. So Section 17, Article 17, sorry, if you're told by the examiner to amend Section 17, let's say, the way it reads here, revocation of citizenship. So the examiner tells you, as a people, yeah, we don't want this article to read like that. We want to change it. So I want you to read application for citizen. Okay, we want you to read revocation of citizenship. Okay, let's assume we want to remove it entirely. Let's start with that instance. We don't want 17 anymore. We don't want our constitution to have a provision for revocation of citizenship. So we want to do it with this entire article entirely. I don't want to say delete, but we want to remove it from the face of the constitution. What we will do, we will say that Article 17 is amended by repealing. You don't say you've amended by deleting, you will say you've amended by repealing. Assume that's instance number one. We want to remove it from the face of the statute. We will say we've repealed it. Assuming we want to replace this with something else, we want to say, let's say, citizenship acquired before promulgation of the Constitution. Or we want to say dual citizenship in these 17. Or we want to provide for something entirely different in 17. We want to put something else here, which is not revocation of citizenship. Let's take, for example, registration of a refugee as a citizen. That is what you want to say. Yeah. So we want to replace this entire article with the words registration with a new article, which is called registration of a refugee as a citizen. We will amend Article 17 by repealing and replacing with registration of a refugee as a citizen. So every single time you're amending an article, you're either repealing it, number one, if you want it to disappear entirely, or number two, you're repealing and replacing when you want to put something different, okay? So the terms, the terminology, the language when you're amending an article, it's either you're repealing it or you're repealing and replacing. You can't say you've deleted or you've done something else. It's either those two words, okay? So let's go back to the slides. Okay, so that's article and the clause in the Constitution. You either repeal or you repeal and replace. No other words, no other language. And then a section of a statute or a clause in a bill. Ignore clause in a bill. Look at section 1. You're not going to amend a bill, you'll amend a statute. So a section in a statute, you either repeal or you repeal and replace. So the same way you've dealt with an article or a clause in a constitution, you'll deal in that same way when you're dealing with a section in a statute. So articles in the constitution and sections in a statute, you either repeal them or you repeal and replace them. Okay. So let's go to, by the way, it's the same thing. So there is no need of going to a section of a statute because we will do an actual one shortly. So just hold that in abeyance, but you're repealing and replacing. And then for a subsection, subsections are to be found in statutes. For a subsection, you either delete or delete and insert. Okay, let's go to a subsection. We see how that will pan out. Let's use that statute that you are using, the Advocate Act. I think I still have it open. Okay, so here, if we are told to amend section 13, subsection 1, we go here because this is section 13, subsection 1. Assume we want this to read, we don't want it to read a person shall be duly qualified if. We want to say qualification means. Those are the words that you want on subsection 1. We want to say qualification means. We would amend by deleting subsection 1 of section 13 and inserting qualification means. I think if you see it when it's written, it will make sense, but I want you guys to remember those terms. So if you're dealing with a subsection, you don't repeal, you don't replace, you're either deleting that subsection if you want to remove it from the face of the statute, or if you want to put something else there, you're inserting. So you either delete a subsection or delete it and insert something, delete it and insert something else. So you don't replace, so you delete and insert, okay? You either delete or you delete and insert for subsections. That's the language that you would use for section 13, subsection 1. Okay, so it's delete or you're deleting and inserting. That's how you deal with the subsection. And then for a paragraph, any paragraph, because you said a constitution has a paragraph and a statute has a paragraph. For paragraphs, you'll equally delete or delete and insert. Yeah. So the same way you're dealing with a subsection, the language that you use for subsections, that's the same language you use for paragraphs. So a paragraph, you remember what a paragraph is. I hope you do, because I told you have to remember what a paragraph is for you to remember the language that you use for a paragraph. So for paragraph, you're deleting or you're deleting and inserting. And then a sub-paragraph, you either delete, you insert, or substitute therefore. It is therefore, not thereof, okay? So subparagraphs, you will delete them if you want to remove them entirely. You will insert, the language that you'll use is delete, insert, or substitute thereof. Shortly, I'll show you how you put it in a, I think you'll have to see something which is written. So just hold that in abeyance. And then for words and expressions, you might be desirous of incorporating one word, or you want to remove the word child and put minor. If what you're amending is a word in a statute or in the constitution or an expression, you delete, you insert, or substitute therefore, the same way you deal with a subparagraph. So of importance is remembering what exactly do you say where, because it will be different. Yeah, that's the task. That is the task here. Yeah, so I want us to try use an example that is here. Okay, as we see how you amend, what goes where, how to use that language. So example 1, you're required to amend the constitution to provide for equal sharing of revenue raised nationally between the national and the county governments. Of course, if this is in the exam, you'll be told exactly what's the wording of this particular article in the Constitution. So the first thing you do, because we want to amend, by the way, it's important for you to write this for it to make sense. Yeah. So we're amending the Constitution to provide for equal sharing of revenue raised nationally between national between national and county governments. That's what we are amending. So our first point of departure is to identify the provision that deals with revenue sharing, and then we amend it. However, for your purposes there, the examiner will just quote it for you. So it's Article 202, Clause 1, okay? It reads, revenue raised nationally shall be shared equitably among the national and county governments. So the article reads, revenue raised nationally only will be shared equitably between national and county governments. So we are required to amend that to provide for equal sharing. There is a distinction between equitable and equal. You know, equitable depends, you're going to get depending on your circumstances. So if you guys have historically, you know, you have a historical long suffering, yeah, maybe you don't have enough schools, no enough hospitals. If it's equitable sharing, you get more, yeah, for purposes of making sure it's an affirmative action to make sure you're at par with the rest of the country. But equal, on the other hand, means we really don't care how much you've suffered. Everybody is going to get an equal share. So we are supposed to amend that article that provides for equitable sharing to provide for equal instead. Okay, so that's what we are amending. This is the we are desirous of changing that to equal sharing and not equitable sharing anymore. So now you have identified what you want to amend. So the second question is, what exactly are you amending? Are you amending an article? Are you amending a clause? Are you amending a subsection? Are you amending a paragraph? Are you amending a sub-paragraph? Are you amending a word or an expression? You have to know what exactly are you tampering with. And in our instance, the only thing we want to change in this entire sentence is the word equitably. We want to say equal sharing should be shared equally and not equitably. So what we want to amend is a word. It's an expression. It's a single word. So we are not amending the article. We are amending a word in an article. And if you're tampering with a word or you're amending a word, you either delete, insert, or substitute therefore. Do you have a question? Okay, of course I can't see hands. You are muted and then you ask. Okay, so let's go down and now amend. So literally, you delete the word equitably and then you replace that word with the word equally, because we want to change equitably into equally. So this is how your bill will look like, your amendment bill. You know, have you understood why we have said we're amending the word and not the article? If you're desirous of changing a single word in an article, in a clause, in a subsection, in a section, you'll always deal with it like you're amending a word. You're not tampering with 202, like you're not repealing 202. Neither are you repealing and replacing anything in this particular article. What you're doing is amending a single word in 202, because that's all you're required to do for the Constitution to reflect the desire of your member of parliament. Okay, anyway, so this is how your amendment bill will look like. It will have, you remember how a bill looked like? Exactly how a bill looked like. The bill that we discussed in that last class, it will have a title, what you call a short title. The short title is the name of the bill. And for amendment bills, you really don't even think. If you're amending the law of succession, It is the Law of Succession Amendment Bill 2022. So it's really, I mean, you don't even have to be creative, because if you're amending the Constitution, then it is the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill of 2021. Let me plug in my laptop. Okay, so we want to amend. So we have, you just don't amend it. You have it's an entire bill that you prepare for an amendment. Doesn't matter, as long as you're amending, even if it's a single word you're changing in an article, you have to prepare an entire bill. And then this bill will be presented at the floor of the House, and then they'll debate, you know. So it's an entire bill that you're preparing when you're amending. They are called amendment bills. And then, so it has a short title. Remember what a short title was? It's the name of your bill. And then it has this, a bill for, and then you say, what is it? What is the purpose of the objective of this act? Yeah. And then it has this, and who is enacting the bill, or where it's emanating from, because you remember counties can equally make laws. So you state there where is this bill coming from? It's Parliament of Kenya. Yeah, because the Senate can equally, a bill could be presented at the at the county, by a county assembly. So after your enactment formula, you proceed, you have clauses. The distinction between a bill, an amendment bill, and a full bill is that, if you can remember, that full bill, it had arrangement of clauses. You remember, an amendment bill doesn't have arrangement of clauses. So you just start from your short title, and then a bill for whatever this is. You know, I was telling you guys, you have to separate them. Like, you can't write like this, like you put them, you can't write like that. It has to go below a bill for, and then you say, and this has to be capital letters, because this is LWD, yeah, an act of parliament to amend the constitution. And then that's it, and then the enactment formula. And then it has clause 1. So clause 1 is your short title, basically, like it's the name, you're restating the name of your bill. For example, this one states that this act may be cited as the Constitution of Kenya, Amendment Act 2022, and shall come into force on the 1st of July 2022. And then, consequently, of importance is what you're amending. Remember, what we are amending was a word. It was a single word. We didn't want, we wanted to say equal and not equitably. So how you will couch it, you will say, and it's a clause, you put clause 2 there. After you've told us the name of your bill, Article 202 of the Constitution is amended by deleting the word equitably, appearing in clause 1. So you have to remember the name. You know, you could easily call a clause a sabbatical, and then the marker will not be so happy. So it's a clause. It's a clause 1, and substituting, therefore, the word equally. So you see, easily what we've done, we've deleted the word, which we do want. We've deleted the word equitably, because it's, of course, deleting. We've deleted the word equitably, and then you tell us where exactly is this word to be found. You know, that entire constitution, Article 2 could have another word, which is equitably. So you tell us exactly where is that word equitably. So this word equitably appears in clause 1, and substituting, therefore, with the word equally. So we delete equitably, and then we substitute it with the word equally. So instead of equitably, we'll be reading equally. Such that if we go back to that article, it will read, revenue raised nationally shall be shared equally among the national and county governments. It won't be equitably because we've amended it using the amendment bill. Guys, you can ask questions. So if you're told to amend, you start by asking yourself what you're amending, and then you prepare the first part of your bill, which we discussed last time. You don't have any arrangement of clauses in an amendment bill. You go straight into your short title, and then you tell us the purpose of your bill, and then the enactment formula, and then you restate clause 1, the name of your bill, and then you start amending now those articles. You could amend so many articles. You could even go to clause 3. If you want to amend something else in the Constitution, you could say Article 5 is amended by of the Constitution, and then you say, how is it amended? You will amend so many articles in a single bill, okay? But for this one, you are just amending Article 202 by removing the word equitably in clause 1 and substituting, therefore, with the word equally. And then if it's a word, you have to put speech marks, okay? You put quotes in quotes. Yeah, you don't leave it like that. Okay. Let's do another example. This example, we are required to amend the Constitution to provide that all revenue raised in the country be shared equally between the national and county governments. So we identify the article that's relevant, it's here, but in your exam it will be pasted there, so no need to think. So the article that you want to amend is Article 202, Clause 1. It reads, revenue raised nationally shall be shared equitably among the national and county governments. So we are required to amend, this article says revenue raised nationally. But we want all the revenue raised in the country, both by the county and the national government, will be shared equally and not equitably. But then let me give you time to write this, because you have to write for it to make sense. So you have to know what you identify. What are you amending? Is it a word? Is it a phrase? Is it a clause? Is it a subclause? Is it an article? At a subclause. There is nothing like a subclause. Subparagraph. Okay. So in 50 seconds, I'll go to the next slide. So we have seen what you are amending. We want to say all revenue raised in the country, not just nationally, to be shared equally and not equitably. Okay, some more time? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we can go to the next slide now, or you could maybe take a screenshot. Okay. So, oh, yeah. Okay. Someone unmuted. I didn't hear what they said. Okay, so
Lydia, as we do that,
yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, when you say the revenue raised in the country will be shared equally, that involves the county funds as well. So it will be affecting two clauses in particular in this particular constitution, isn't it?
Which one and which one? So for exam purposes, they'll give you the exact clause. I mean, the exact article they want you to amend. Like they'll paste it for you there. So it will be black and white because the examiner will paste for you 202. And then they tell you amend Article 2000. Okay, you won't be told amend. They just say you proceed and amend. Oh yeah, amend the Article 202 to provide that all revenue raised in the country be shared equally between the national and county governments. So in an exam setup, they'll paste the article that you're amending. Now, for example, here, the article that you're amending provides revenue raised nationally. Revenue raised nationally means revenue raised at the national level by the national government. So we want to change that. We just don't want the revenue raised by the national government. We want to say all revenue raised in the country, which means revenue raised at both the national and county level. So we want to change Article 202, the first part, to read revenue raised in national and by national and county government instead of nationally. So we are changing that to the extent that you want all the monies that have been raised by the county government and the national government shall be shared equally and not equitably. So we are changing it to that extent to provide for both national revenue and county revenue to be shared equally and not equitably. So you proceed and put that first part. You remember, if you're amending, by the way, you can't just start amending at your writing sentences. It has to have this part first. The name of your bill, of course, it will be so clear. You'll be told this bill is called, the act that you're amending or the Constitution. So the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, a bill for, and then your enactment formula. And then you go to clause 1. Clause 1 is called a clause in a bill. So clause 1, you state that this act, the name of your act. This act may be cited as the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Act 2021. And then you go to clause 2. Clause 2. And then clause 2 will read Article 202 of the Constitution is amended in clause 1 because you're amending 2 things. Of course, it will be in subsequent sub-clauses in your bill. So Article 202 is amended in clause 1. So you state exactly it's Article 202 where? So it's Article 202, clause 1, that is what you are amending, is amended by number A, inserting the word "and from counties" immediately after the word "nationally." You see, we said if you're tampering, what you're doing is a word, you insert. If we scroll up, how you deal with words, let's go up to the language of amendment. Here, we said for words, it's either you're deleting a word, you're inserting a word, or you're substituting therefore. So for our purposes, we have inserted a word. You wouldn't say you've added, so it's inserting a word. Okay, so let's scroll down. So for our purposes, we've inserted the word "and from counties," and then it has those, God, I don't think they're called speech marks, honestly. I think I can remember my English from class 2 in the English aid, but they have they're called parentheses. They have a unique name, but you get the point. So inserting the word "and from the counties" immediately after the word "nationally." So you have to state as you're amending exactly where you want to, a statute has to be very, very clear. You have to avoid ambiguity. So you have to tell us this word of yours. You could say inserting the phrase, it's allowable. It's a word or a phrase because you see there are many words, yeah? So you could say inserting the phrase "and from the counties" immediately after "nationally." So let's go immediately after the "nationally." Here, this is the word "nationally." So we've amended Article 202, clause 1 by inserting the word "and from the counties" immediately after the word "nationally." So our statute will read now, revenue raised nationally and from the counties, because we wanted to say that revenue raised nationally. So we've included counties here. So it's revenue raised nationally and from the counties. By the way, you might have amended in another way. You might have said Article 202 of the Constitution is amended in clause 1 by deleting the word nationally and substituting therefore with the phrase nationally. By the way, you say that you will not say the same thing, but if you have anything else that makes sense, as long as it shows it's revenue from what I wanted to say, I would have still said nationally and from the counties. So if it doesn't have to be like there is no standard way of amending, as long as you remember the wording, the words. That's the most critical thing, because easily someone else would have said here, Article 202 is amended by adding the word. You can't say adding, neither can you say replacing, neither can you say anything else. It's inserted. You insert a word. Okay, so what we've inserted in our constitution is this, and from the counties immediately after the word nationally. So we've already captured the first limb of our amendment, which required us to reflect that all the revenue raised nationally, I mean, in the country. Okay, and then part B, we have amended that particular clause, I mean, that particular article by deleting the word equitably appearing immediately after the word shared and substituting therefore with the word equally. So remember, the first limb of the second limb of the amendment was to reflect that any monies will be shared equally now and not equitably. Equally, which means equal shares. Kila mtu anapata equal piece of cake. Okay, so that is what we wanted to say. We wanted now to replace equitably with equally. So we have, remember how you deal with words. Words you're either deleting, you're inserting, or you're substituting therefore. So anytime you want to delete and put another thing, you would say deleting the word equitably and substituting therefore with equally. And you have to tell us exactly where that word you're telling us is. For example, here they've told us that this word equitably appears immediately after the word shared. So if we go to our Article 202, we'll be able to identify which equitably are we exactly talking about. So it is the equitably appearing immediately after the word shared. So this is what we are deleting and substituting therefore with the word equally. So we will delete, like now this is gone, 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 and we replace this with the word equally. Okay, so our statute, our constitution, sorry, will read revenue raised nationally and from the counties shall be shared equally among the national and county governments. So you would have achieved the purpose of we want to equally share all the revenue raised by the country. Do you have a question? So remember how to deal with words or phrases.
Yes, Lydia.
Yeah, please go on, please go on.
Yes, this is David. Now, I wanted to get a clarification. Is it substitute thereof or substitute therefore?
It is substitute therefore. Therefore written as there and FOR, not substitute. I don't want to say any other thing. It is substitute therefore. Strictly substitute therefore, substitute therefore. Okay, very well. So let's say we can amend a past paper. You guys are the ones who are going to amend it. Like, rather you tell me how to amend it. Let's amend a statute and then we go to a past paper silly question. And I think you guys will amend. I thought those guys for this other exam will amend for March, but they didn't amend. So you might amend. And you know, amending is easy marks, very easy. As long as you know it is deleting, inserting, and substituting, therefore, for words and phrases, then you're good to go. So example 3. We are amending section 76. Section 76 of this statute provides, it's the Marriage Act. Yeah, we are amending section 76 of the Marriage Act, which provides effect of a promise to marry. And then consequently state, except as provided in this section, a promise by a person to marry another person is not binding. So you put that, you remember, I don't want to call it, I don't want to call it a citation, like what you call for the pleadings, but up there, okay, let's use, you know, I'm just picturing it on without you guys seeing. So up here it will, okay, let's type it, let's type it, let's type it. Okay, let's copy paste and then we type. Hakuna haja ya kuchoka, si ndio? But you can't afford to do this as you're practicing. You have to use a pen. Otherwise, you might think you can write fast, and you know these things you have to write very fast because it's a lot of things you're writing with your pen, with your paper. God, what's going on? Good God, let me see. I think we'll have to type it. So this bill will have a name. So it's the marriage. The marriage. So you can't have, you amend after you've written your title, amendment, act, the marriage act amendment, the marriage amendment act, yeah, because it's an amendment 2021. And then you say a bill for, you remember, a bill for, and then you say an act of parliament, an act of parliament to amend the marriage act, to amend the marriage act. And then you could say the 2020, 2021. And then you say that enacted formula, enacted by the Parliament of Kenya. By the Parliament, we say Parliament of Kenya. It's called Parliament of Kenya, enacted, of course, enacted by Parliament of Kenya, as follows. So your bill starts, that's how you would ideally, that's how it would look like. So everything is centered, and then there you are. So this bill, we want to amend. Have we been told what we are amending? No, we haven't been told what we are amending, but I think we are dealing with a word. So you start with the name. This will be clause 1. The name of your bill. The act may be cited as the Marriage Act. Marriage Amendment Act 2021, and then section 76 of the Marriage Act. In this act, okay, let's use the LSA Act because it has a lot of amendments. I think we should use a complete amended Act of Parliament because this one we don't even know what you're amending. So let's go to the LSA because it's short and precise. So Law of Succession Amendment Act. Let's use that one to amend amendment bill. Sorry, there is one for 2021. God, no, this has been assented. I found one that has not been assented. Okay, let me project it. Here. So this is what you are amending. Assume we are amending the Law of Succession Act. So I've told us that it doesn't have, you remember, ordinarily, a full bill had arrangement of clauses, what you kept on calling table of contents. So this one doesn't have, okay? So you go straight into your title. This is called the Law of Succession Amendment Bill 2021. And then a bill 4. Then you tell us the purpose of this bill. It's an act of parliament to amend the Law of Succession Act and for connected purposes. So this has to appear in all that objective of the bill. It has to be there, okay? So every single time and for connected purposes. And then it's the enactment formula enacted by the Parliament of Kenya as follows. And then you tell us this is a short title. And remember, by the way, it has that nini, it has margins, okay? So it's a bill, it's a complete bill, it's a proper bill. So it has your marginal notes, where we said you draw a straight line with a ruler, alafu your marginal notes appear on the side. So it has marginal notes. So the clause 1 is your short title. This act may be cited as the Law of Succession Amendments Act 2021, full stop, alafu short title there. And then this particular, you start amending. Immediately after your short title, you start amending now. So you want to amend section 3 of LSA. So you know we don't have someone might have written drafting instructions, which we don't have, but we could see we could infer what was being amended. Section 3 of LSA is hereinafter referred to as the Principal Act, because you won't repeat LSA. So Section 3 of LSA, which is hereinafter referred to as the Principal Act, you could try and adopt plain English. Don't say hereinafter, just avoid it. Yeah, albeit it's a bill, just try avoid saying hereinafter. You could say Section 3 of the Law of Succession. Where? What is a synonym for hereinafter? You find one. Hereinafter, referred to as the Principal Act, is amended in subsection 1. So what we are amending is section 3, subsection 1, by inserting the following new definitions in their proper alphabetical order, which means consequently, if the Principal Act is being changed, intermeddling will go in. You remember definitions have to go in an alphabetical order. So intermeddling will be where it's supposed to be. It doesn't come as the first one. So we've amended section 3 by inserting, because these are basically quote unquote definitions. They are not clauses, neither are these articles. They are basically they're insertions, new insertions. So on your marginal note, it will be amendment of section 3 of Cap 160, which is the Law of Succession Act. So if you're amending section 3, your marginal note will you will include the exact section you're amending in your Principal Act. And then it has a definition of intermeddling, yeah. It has definition of marriage, yeah, which has since been assented to. So the definition of marriage is, it's in the act right now. Defines matrimonial property. This act was no, it defines a spouse. I think this act was assented with this bill was assented with a lot of amendments. Yeah. Okay. So we also amending section 29 of the Principal Act. So you write your marginal note will be amendment of section 29. So whatever you're amending goes into the section you're amending goes into your marginal note. So it will read section 29 of the Principal Act is amended by number A. Deleting paragraph A, wait. Yeah, for paragraphs you delete paragraphs, yeah? You remember, go back to your, because you must have written somewhere. Yeah, if you're a serious candidate. So by deleting, for paragraphs, you either delete or delete and insert. So this is paragraph A, deleting paragraph A, and you cannot say something. God, this is wrong. Yeah, you can only delete or delete and insert. So you will delete paragraph A and insert the following new, don't say God. You know, don't say that, don't say substitute. It's either you're deleting or you're deleting and inserting. You don't delete. Hey, let's stop using this one. Yeah, but you get a gist, eh? You use that language that you gave us. You know, those slides that I was sharing, last time I told you they were prepared by a legal counsel, a senior legal counsel. His name is, I'm not sure whether he's been to KSL. Yeah, he usually comes there. His name is Dima. Yeah, he's the principal legal counsel at the National Assembly. So I think he would be mad if he saw people saying delete and substitute, therefore, for paragraphs, because for paragraphs, if you can remember, you'll only delete and insert. Okay, you don't substitute, therefore. But I think if you people get brainwashed, they start saying, mixing them up. But if for your exam purposes, you're either deleting or you're deleting and inserting, nothing else. You can't substitute, therefore, for a paragraph. You only do that for sub paragraphs. Okay, don't even use that axe, by the way. Ignore it. You can use the examples that are here. Okay, so let's scroll down before we go to a question, but you get the gist, yeah, of deleting and inserting. So these slides, they have effect of amendments. We already discussed it can repeal, it can rectify a statute, can revoke, can annul a statute, and then it has, I think I'll leave this to you. I'm not sure whether we need to read this substantively, but just to mention, as you're couching your penal provisions in your bill, last time we had mentioned, you usually start, for example, you don't start with imprisonment. Yeah, you will say that a person who contravenes any provision of this act for which no penalty is provided commits an offense and shall be liable. You have to say upon conviction, because you only become liable upon being convicted. Shall be liable upon conviction to a fine not exceeding 50,000 Kenya shillings. So you'll start with a fine, and then or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months or both. Yeah. So you start with a fine, and then you go to imprisonment. Not the other way around. You will tell us they're supposed to pay X amount of money, and if they don't, X amount of money or imprisonment or both. Yeah. So I want us to attempt a question for amending. It goes on and on and on and on about penal provisions. You will read these because I want us to majorly discuss how to draft. Yeah. This is theoretical. Penal provisions is theoretical, and at what time do you become liable for penal provision? And then it has expression of time in legislation. When you say the first Tuesday, what do you mean? When you say the 14th day, what do you mean? Yeah, it has that, how you express time in your legislation. So let's attempt an amendment question. Oh, before we attempt I've just remembered that I don't have that paper in my laptop. Yeah. So we'll attempt the one that I have. I am not even sure whether you guys have been drafting, but you really have to draft. You know, these things, they might sound easy when you talk about them, but when you're told to do it, it becomes hard, like writing it. It's not easy. Okay, it's easy if you've been doing it, but if you see it for the first time in an exam and you're attempting to draft that day, things will be hard. Yeah. So let's go to November 2015. November 2015. Question. It has so many questions on bills, but question 8. Okay, let me share question 8 of that year. Here. So question 8 says, use legislative drafting language and following the instructions given. And then part A asks, amend the following section by inserting a new section after it to provide for burning of vegetation in shared common areas. And then that section is pasted here, section 3. So section 3 provides for burning of vegetation without authority. Subsection 1 is, no person shall set fire to any vegetation which is not his property unless he has lawful authority to do so. Subsection 2 reads, no person shall willfully or negligently kindle fire which by spreading may damage or destroy the property of any other person. So that's part A of the question. Part B asks you to amend section 10 below to read as follows. County government instead of local authority. And the question is 5 marks. So, of course, you have to draft an entire bill because, for example, here, these are a word or a phrase. Don't say replace, yeah? You're amending this particular word, you're deleting county government and substituting, therefore, with the word local authority. And it's 5 marks. Of course, you can't just write one sentence. Yeah. So you have to write you have to have marginal notes. It's 5 marks. So it's a full amendment bill with an enactment formula. Anyway, so part A, let's attempt part A. I'm not sure who wants to attempt, but you guys are going to attempt. So we are amending this section by inserting a new section. So we are amending the act by inserting a new section after this section 3 to provide for banning of vegetation in common areas. How would you amend? How would you amend? And it's bearing in mind it's 5 marks. Let's hear what you got.
They would invite me to do an entire bill.
Because it's 5 marks. You see, 5 marks is bill, like a full bill. For you to get the 5.
And then I'll copy paste what is there.
Yeah, you will copy paste that into your answer booklet.
And then I'll do and. A subsection 3, because we are adding, we are not removing, we are not deleting, we are not inserting, we are adding. So I'll add a subsection 3. So it would read 3, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so you will have before we go there, Sam, the nomenclature. What do you call these? What I've highlighted? Maybe we could use color. So what do you call these? What is that called? These entire 3. Is it a section? Is it a section?
The section.
It's called a section.
Yes.
Very well, very well. What about this one?
Which one? You've not highlighted anything?
I think I've used let's use yellow. God.
Subsection 1, which is into brackets.
That's a subsection 1. And what we are
subsection
doing?
2.
And subsection 2. So what we are doing, we are inserting a new section.
A new subsection.
And what we are amending is we are amending a section by inserting a new section. The question actually, I think is, yeah?
Are we inserting a section or a subsection?
The question says by inserting a new section. So we start by identifying what we are amending. So we've identified we are inserting, and I think this examiner deliberately they used the word inserting because for sections you either, I don't want to tell you, I want to see whether you have understood. So how would you okay, please. So you guys are unmuted. Please go on.
Insert or delete.
You do what?
Section we
repeal or repeal and replace.
You either repeal or you repeal and
replace.
Replace.
So how would you, bearing in mind that's the language, how would you put a new section? How would you what would you write? Like how would it read? Maybe you could attempt writing in your book and then you read it out. You read it out loud.
Would I be right to say that section 3 is repealed by deleting,
Mm-hmm.
banning, by deleting banning of vegetation without authority immediately after subsection 3 number,
Mm-hmm.
and replacing it with
Mm-hmm.
hiyo wametupea hapo, sioni vizuri.
Mm-hmm.
Replacing it with
Mm-hmm.
banning of vegetation in shared and common areas.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore,
Some umetoa therefore wapi?
this is Gashoki, not some. I don't know where you're getting some from, however.
Wait, you talk like Sam. Wait, I've been calling you Sam for days.
Okay.
You know, this guy called Sam was not telling me it's not Sam. Thank you for letting me know. Gashoki, now I won't forget. I won't forget. It's me and you till the end. Okay. I would really like to see that written down, but I don't know how we will do it. But I hear you. I hear you. You know, this is actually an act called the Grass Fires Act. It's the act that you're amending. Okay, so Gashoki, please, one more time. I want to write as you say it. For me to
Okay,
be
I'm
able
just saying, I would, for a section, we repeal or repeal and replace.
Uh-huh.
So on my fetus, I think this is what I would write. This is what I was saying. That section 3. Okay, that's after doing the introductory part. This act be cited as the Burning Grass and Vegetation Act, Amendment B, Bill 2023. And I'll have declared the enactment shall come into force in the month of December 2023. And then I'll say immediately after that, I'll start by saying that you have made me lose it. I've lost it. My mind has gone away.
You know, saying it is so hard unless you write. I think I agree with you. Actually, trying to say it out loud can be extremely hard. Yeah. Who? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gashoki. Who else has wants to give it a shot?
Maybe Lydia,
Yeah.
I can try the first bit. Can see. Where do you start? You see the grass and vegetation. It is the Grass and Vegetation Amendment Act, 2023, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Grass and Vegetation Act, and then enacted by the Parliament of Kenya as follows. So, and then we have this act may be cited as the Grass and Vegetation Amendment Act, it's a comma, 2022. And shall come into force on the first day of March 2022. There is something I think happened because there's somewhere we were saying and for connected purposes. So wow, right. Okay, anyway, I can give somebody else to try.
Okay, yeah. The first part, I think that will be like 2 marks. I'm not very sure, but good marks. So okay, who wants to continue now? What will be your close? You've left at close 1. Now let's go into the actual amendment.
Lydia. It's Ivan speaking.
Yeah, of course. I know your voice. Go on, please. I know David. I know Alex. Go on. What will you? You want to start from scratch or from where David has left off?
I think I will have to start from scratch
because
he was mentioning some dates there about 31st. I was wondering where is he getting those names? those words. But what I can see by what you are given,
Yeah. Mm.
I think I will start by saying that I will this word,
Mhm.
I will engage. I'll start by inserting a new section by saying that
Mhm.
so we won't be deleting anything.
You tell me. You know, it looked easy, you know.
Yeah, it looks
But
easy.
it is not. It is 5 marks. So
It's
you have
not
to
even
sweat.
substituting there.
This is a section.
Yes.
Mhm. So for sections, you either repeal, and replace. I really want to see. I want to hear how you would
Repeal.
have. Yes, the boot would buid, we do.
You have said repeal
policy.
or what?
Go back. Ulikuwa unaandika kweli? Hebu enda pale uliandika ni sasa nijue nani alikuwa ajoyride hapa.
Repeal.
What do you
Hapo
do?
acha nikwambie kweli sikuandika.
Maybe
Hapo sikuwa
maybe
nimeandika.
Lydia,
Yeah.
in the interest of time, we can just help him. We say a statute when you're amending a
Yeah.
statute after a section that is a repeal,
Yeah. Or
or repeal and replace.
very well, very well. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
even there you have it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you repeal or replace. Or you repeal and replace. Which is which, Lydia?
You can either repeal a section, or you could where you want to remove it and put something else, you will repeal and replace with something else. Any kubaya. But you guys have to say something before we go on, you know. Evans, go on.
Okay, so we'll start by inserting or by will be by inserting a new section that will be reading burning of vegetation without authority. Then subparagraph 1, we also insert no person shall set fire to any vegetation which is not his property unless he has lawful authority to do so.
So you rewrite the way it is here.
Yeah.
You just write.
See, that's what we've been told. See,
Okay.
I'm just following the instructions of that section C.
Yeah, that's correct.
Then I also insert subparagraph 2. No person shall willfully or negligently kindle any fire which by spreading may damage or destroy the property of any other person.
Following.
Maybe
is there for the connected purpose here.
See,
I thought that was the first one when you are writing a bill. Should it be included?
Maybe Lydia.
Yeah.
Maybe if he could start by saying Section 3 of the Act is amended by, and then continue.
How exactly you will write it? Yeah, that's important. You know, you can only start now amending those sections even after so Mr. Section. Which section is amended by doing what? Even.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I'll start by saying Section 3 is amended by inserting the following words as follows. Burning of vegetation without authority. Then I write sub paragraph 1. No person shall set fire to any vegetation which is not his property unless he has lawful authority to do so.
So we repeat what is there.
Yeah, we repeat what is there.
And
then I go on stating that because I'm inserting, I will also insert subparagraph 2 and write exactly what is written there. No person shall willfully or negligently kindle any fire, which by spreading may damage or destroy the property of any other person. Now, the last part of it, see, I think it is complete when you do that.
Okay,
or
so
there are some words that are missing.
Let me just project something. My concern is what words you have picked.
See, I've just picked the words directly from here, except that part where I've started by saying.
Okay, so Evans, have you said repeal,
Yes.
repeal and replace? Have you said insert?
Yes, I've said that.
Okay,
to
very
insert.
Well. Okay, so your act,
Was
your
there any
amendment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was there any part that I was repealing?
I think there is something you skipped. No?
I mentioned section 3. I was adding it. I was inserting it, not adding. I was inserting it. And I said that burning of vegetation without authority. Then I also mentioned about inserting sub-article 1.
The new we are sabbatical.
Subparagraph. I mean, not sabbatical, subparagraph.
We're in a class, I would ask you guys, I want to see your books. Yeah. Okay, let me please project something. Okay, let's go to the question first because I'll stop sharing this screen that you guys can see. What we are doing is you see, we are not tampering with this section. It will still be there. 3 and its subsections will still be there. And the examiner has actually told you exactly what to do.
Yes.
They've told you to insert a new section. So your bill, let me stop sharing this. Okay. And then I project something else.
Can I give it a shot as you project?
Yeah. Before I project.
Section 3 is repealed by replacing.
Yeah, sure. Please go on.
Section 3 is repealed by replacing into opening quotes, banning of vegetation without authority as without authority, closing remarks, as the heading, with into closing remarks or into opening again, banning of vegetation in shared and common areas, and I close. Because basically I'm repeating the heading of the entire subsection, of the entire section. But the other content remain.
Let's go back to the question.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Please go on as I do that.
Okay, maybe okay, Geshogi has said, but maybe I would also have put it this way. Section 3 of the Act is amended by inserting opening quotation marks for banning of vegetation in shared and common areas, then closing quotation mark, and then yeah, that is what I would have done.
And that's it.
I need to think further.
Understandable. Would you have introduced a new section, because you have a new section which has to have a name. It has to be, what's the name of your, it has to have a new heading. It has to have it has to have a new heading. It can be within 3.
So 3A.
Yeah,
What do we say?
exactly.
3A.
You will
Yeah,
call
is that
3A. Yeah, so your new section will be 3A. So you know, you might have thought it is easy because you know it's repeal and replace. So this section, this entire section, we are not tampering with it. It will still be there. But further to this section, we are introducing a new section which will be 3A. I want to project to you how it would have looked like. So anytime you're introducing a new section, like entirely that section was non-existent in the Act, you'll insert it. Yeah, but assuming this is the section that you are we were deleting, okay, we're removing 3, putting something else, then we would have repealed 3 or replaced 3. But now what we are doing to 3 is not, we're not tampering. You'll copy paste whatever is in 3 into your paper booklet, exam booklet. Okay, let me show you what I am trying to say. I project something, an act of parliament, an amended act of parliament. This is the CBK. This is the CBK Act. So our act, this act, by this, whatever is there, it's an existing act. Yeah. So it would be grass fires, or whatever you decide to call it, but it has to have a title. You will call it Vegetation Fires Amendment Act 2021. And then ignore date of assent, is assented, and then an act of parliament to amend the Grass Act and for connected purposes. Full stop. Oh, it has to have a bill for. This is an enacted one, but it has to have a bill for, and then an act of parliament to amend the Grass Fires Act 2021 and for connected purposes. So it's a bill for, and then an act of parliament, and then the enactment formula enacted by the Parliament of Kenya as follows. And then you remember your margins. Don't forget margins, marginal notes, sorry. Okay. So it will be clause 1. This act may be cited as the Grass Fire Amendment Act 2021. And then hapo hivyo kwa marginal note, you write short title. And then we proceed and amend. And remember, it has to have your marginal note. So as you're amending, because what we are doing is introducing a new section which was not there, we will insert. Because we are not tampering with 3, you will actually copy paste it the way it is. So you'll go to section 3, you copy paste the way. I wish I could write. I wish I could. I know how to split screen, but you'll write. You'll write clause 2. See, clause 1 is your short title. This act may be cited as blah 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 blah. Clause 2 will be don't say the principal act. The Grass Act 2021, hereinafter referred to as the principal act, is amended by inserting the following new section immediately after section 3. And then hapo hivyo kwa marginal note, you would say insertion of a new section. If your Grass Act is cap 301 or whatever cap, then you tell us what you introduce 3A. You write 3A. So this is whatever is 7 here would be 2. So in your it will be your 2, and then your 2, you say this act is amended by starting the following new section immediately after section. You could opt to, but it's pointless. You could opt to paste the way your I think I'll write it and take a photo and share with you. Yeah, you copy paste the way 3 looks like, and then the way 3 is, and then you write below 3A.
Why
And
not
then you
4?
see, yeah.
Maybe we can try, Lydia. We can just try,
Okay.
and then we read. You tell us.
Yeah. So can I write it later, share it with you, and then because I wanted us to discuss a policy, you start drafting policies as well because it's
We
examining.
can also try to.
Will you
We
mind
can also try
copying
to.
one sec?
Eh?
Copy one
can
from
also
here. We
try-
go try amend.
we copy one from here, we try to amend.
Just copy something on a
Yes.
section, we carry to the other empty page, we amend together.
Okay.
We introduce a section together.
This is a PDF. Let me see whether I can copy paste. Let me see whether I can copy paste. Because it makes better sense if it's written. Hi, let me see how that looks like in Word.
Yes.
This PDF. Okay, sawa. Just a minute. I see how it looks like. Ama we type. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It looks good. Let's copy paste an existing act, sindio? Because this is an amendment one. The CBK, the one that regulates digital money lenders. Which act should we amend? Let's amend any acts. We could amend the Advocates Act. Ama we amend. Let me get one.
So that question that you were doing, was it to 2015?
Copy paste it. You know, oh, I think I could. I think no. This is not copy pasteable. It's not possible to copy paste this one. It has to be something different. Or maybe you have to tell me what is written there. I type it. That will consume too much time. So I would rather get an act, a different act.
Maybe Lydia.
So yeah.
Sorry. For clarity, the one that we are doing, are we supposed to copy paste section 3, or can we go direct and say the grass and something blah 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 act is amended by inserting the following new section immediately after section 3, and then you say section 3A? Do we need to copy paste the section 3, or do we just go direct? Okay.
It's pointless.
Hmm.
Because
and because of time, how I think you're supposed to do this in how many minutes before you start sweating?
This can take 10 minutes, even 5 minutes. 10 minutes a lot. 5 minutes can do.
Amending.
Yes.
That should be easy.
Yeah, it will take like even 2 minutes. 5 minutes a lot, like 2 minutes or 3.
As long as you know.
Thereabout.
As long as you know what to do, it won't take a lot of time. I have found a bill that we could amend. It won't take a lot of time. Plus, you guys are actually very, very, very. You're up to the task. Hakuna tapita. Yeah. Okay. So let me paste. Sometimes the act won't have any. Oh, let me project my screen. Sometimes you'll just be given. The reason why 3 was put there is to enable the context. Maybe come up with a title of the amendment bill. You see, that title will have a marks, maybe even 2, because it didn't have God. Hey, it's hard. So this is the name of the bill. It's called Carriage of Goods by Sea. So let's assume we are amending. We are amending section 4 of this act, Carriage of Goods by Sea. It's a 2021 act. That's what we are amending by inserting a new section immediately after section 4 to provide for something, to provide for goods at the port. Okay.
CIF cost.
This one is nini? Nimechagua act zielewi. So this is what you will do. You will bora tuna get what's going on. So this is what we will do. We will write the title of the bill. Assume we don't even have the name, because that question was 5 marks, because the reason why 3 was pasted there was to enable you get the gist and come up with the title of your amendment bill. So sometimes the name won't be there. So this will be the Carriage of Goods by Sea Amendment Act 2 2023. Let's assume you're amending it right now in your exam. And then you underline. See, your work has to stand out. So you underline this. Am I this being extra? You know, this is copy pasted from the 5 shouldn't be there. That's a mistake. Okay, so we proceed. And the next thing is a bill.
A bill for.
Very well. And then the next thing is
An act of parliament to amend the carriage of goods by sea act and for connected purposes.
2021.
by sea
Yes,
act.
yes, thank you.
By
By sea act and for connected purposes.
This should, let's center at this. You know,
Wait,
in your exam.
Lydia, it's 2023 because you have written the title is Act, Amended Act 2023. So here by Sea Act 2023.
It's an amendment act for 2023, but what you're amending is a 2021 act, which you're amending in 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right.
Yes.
You're right.
So the next thing,
enacted enacted by the Parliament of Kenya as follows.
Whether you have to be careful about capital letters, don't be careless like me. Enacted by the Parliament of Kenya.
Follows.
Okay.
And then you can say that this act may be cited as
that clause 1. Yeah.
Yes. Clause 1. This act may be cited as the carriage of goods by sea Amendment Act 2021.
Lydia, is that section? Is that clause or section?
It's called a clause. It's called
a clause.
In a bill, they're called clauses. In an act, they're called sections.
Section. So, a bill is called. Okay, it's a bill.
Huyo siku iva tujaribu kuvaa tai, unaweza jinyonga. It's not easy.
Sawa sawa. Mimi sitajinyonga. Nitapambana nao ikuje venye nakuja.
So this act may be set as the carriage of goods by sea. 2023.
Amendment 2023.
You may decide to tell us.
Come.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. And shall come into force on the this November, 1st of November 2023.
Okay, 1st of November 2023. Sometimes if you don't have time, if you forget to put it, it's okay. Okay, 2, clause 2, and then you put it here on your short title. I mean, your marginal note, you write short title, but it's good. Like I'm unable to write it, but it has to. You see where my cursor is. Kando ya hiyo, clause 1, you write up, you go short title. But now you'll have drawn.
You're talking about the subtitles.
The marginal notes. The notes that are on right hand side. Those notes. You remember those notes? Let me show you. Yeah. Let me show you from one of these documents.
Were we told that we could also put our marginal notes as the headings? So it's still okay, it's still acceptable if someone is in trouble of putting the marginal notes.
Oh, you guys were told that?
That's what I have my.
Yes, so you're right. You're right. We were told that by Mr. Laibuta.
You could
we can put it as a heading.
And how will it look like?
Lydia.
That one, I don't know.
Miss Kungu said that is a no.
Okay. Unajua, that's the problem with those people at that school. One of them says this, the other one says that. I think, and they're not the markers. They won't mark. Of course, a marker will see that as strange because them, at the parliament, no one puts marginal notes as headings. It will look so weird. I'm just trying to imagine.
Actually,
But you
Lydia,
know, at the,
I think the lady who spoke, they are right, because we were even told that you can put it on the left side. So I was wondering, I've never seen it being put on the left side. I don't know. So maybe
let me tell you
there's a
something.
confusion.
Maybe this will clear your doubts. Okay. Let me show you something quick, fast. Let me show you. Let me just show you, because you see the problem. There is a time lecturers at KSL used to mark CLE exam, but they don't mark anymore. So it will be extremely injurious if you do something which the examiner has never seen. They will be so shocked. And you know, they won't know it. That is what you are told. So let me show you what clarifies your doubts, and then you just use it as a gospel truth. Yeah. It's because for obvious reason, the guy who will mark the paper does not know it's someone who told you. So this paper is the best performed paper for last year, but one. In the bill, it was out of 20 marks. They got 20 out of 20. So it means this is the marking scheme. And this is how they put their marginal notes. They put their marginal notes at the right-hand side of the bill. Here, short title, interpretation. They drew, drew sounds funny. They had a line, and then after the line, they have their margin. For your work to be organized, it's as simple as that. Just draw a line on there as a booklet, and then have your marginal note on the right side. And you see, this person got a 20 out of 20. So it means you have to do it like this, because the marker is not a lecturer at KSL. Unless they're the ones who are marking, then you could have a marginal note as a heading. I think that could be so risky. Honestly, me, I would do it like this, because this is what really marks, and you want to get the marks. Yeah. So see, that clarifies your doubt. Yeah. So put your marginal notes on the right hand side. And they got 20 out of 20. I think any other thing would be taking a risk.
Yes.
Okay, sawa. So let's go back to our Word document. We finish our bill. So we put it on the right hand side. We draw a line. We put it, the short title, we write here, candle short title on the right hand side, because that is what's really marked, and it was 20 out of 20. I think you just do it like that. Don't take the risk. It will be too risky because that's like guesswork. You're trying to imagine the marker will know what the lecturer said, and they don't even know each other, highly likely. Okay, but Laibute is a really, he's a well-seasoned LWD lecturer, but I really don't know where that was coming from. Anyway, so the second, our second clause will be, let's go on, the
The Carriage of Goods by Sea Act. No.
Yeah, I thought
there's
so.
A kapat, There's the kapat. I've forgotten. The Carriage of Goods by Sea Act is amended by inserting the following new section immediately after section. I don't know which section that was. Was it section 7? Was it section 5? I don't. Unless now you go back to the.
Okay, it was section 4.
Okay, so
it was section 4. Take that again.
So the carriage of goods by sea Act is amended by inserting the following new section immediately after section 4, and then you have now. Are they connected? Because I don't know. We cannot put section.
We were. I assume the question was amend, like the other one that you were attempting. Amend the following section by inserting a new section after it. Act 2021. Say is amended by inserting The
the
following,
following new section.
the following new section.
Yes.
New is
Immediate
important. It sounds repetitive. Immediately after
section 4.
4. Okay, so let's insert it. Oh, so you push, you write.
You say section, do you say now section 4A? And then you were saying something like goods at the port, and then you start from there.
Because we already have said we are inserting a new section, there will be no need of saying section 4A, because ideally we have already said we are inserting the following new section. So we write 4A and then we say what we are, the new thing we are putting. You would have been told by the examiner, let's say that is what we are. This is something I copy pasted from that act. So we would say we have amended it like that. That's it.
A question.
Yeah.
Why are we saying 4A and not just section 5?
Because let me share that act that I'm using. I've never even read it. I think I'm seeing it for the first time. Because a section 5 already exists in the Principal Act. And if you amend by inserting a section 5, you will now have 2 sections 5s. So it has to have a new name, maybe 4A, 4C, because ideally the Principal Act already has a 5. So if we put a 5 and then ultimately it's assented, then we'll have 2 5s. So we'll say 4A. So we will have a section 4, a section 4A, and a section 5 in the Principal Act.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So
again, I think the question was clear that we should amend each section. So since the other sections already established.
There is that. Yeah, if the question tells you amend section 4 by inserting a new section after it. So it means what you amend.
What you just reminded me is that an introduction of a section comes with a capital A, not a small a.
Yeah. Precisely. It has to be a capital A. So your marks, your 5 marks will be spread as follows. We have your title here. Let's give you 1.5. This guy knows it's a bill for.
This project.
1.5. You guys can see. Oh
No. Projected.
no.
Project.
Okay. So sorry. So your title will have, let's say, half. Alafu we mark this half. You get this half a mark. Kwanza they know it, and for connected purposes, these are serious candidates. They have enactment formula. Let's give them another half. They have a short title. Ushapata 5. So your marks will be spread across everything. Everything is super important. So you're told to amend. Unajua kuna mtu mwenye kwa way class. They'll just put these. They'll say the Carriage of Good Act is amended by, that's it. They put that. Of course, for this guy, this is what is this? Where were you in school? Yeah. So it has to have all that, and then you consequently now have the substantive amendment. And then remember, after every clause, there is a marginal note to every clause. So our clause 1 is a short title, and our clause 2 is insertion of a new title on cap 102. You remember, let me show you the one that you are using. It has a marginal note. I'm unable to insert the marginal note in the Word document, but this CBK Act has. So besides your clause 2, you would say insertion of new section in cap for 90 or in cap 400. So that you will write that immediately besides your in your marginal note where you've drawn a line. And remember, right, by the way, how would you even write marginal notes on the left unless you're left-handed? It would be so hard. No, I don't know, but I feel like
Even if you're left-handed, you can't write that way. I'm a left-handed, Lydia.
Oh, it's hard
I'm left-handed.
writing. But if you're left-handed, it's easy to write things on the left side.
No, you write it where is appropriate. Like if it's the right, you put it in the right side.
Oh,
like for me, when I'm writing,
yes,
I don't normally write where there's margin past the margin line.
Okay.
Under what circumstances we write the notes on the right, the marginal notes on the right, or rather on the left? I hadn't right, but I ever mentioned something, but it escaped my mind. I think I've stayed for long without figuring out. But there is a time.
Looking at the notes that you put your marginal notes on the left.
I think for a bill, we put the marginal notes on the right. I don't know whether it's for the act that the marginal note stands to the left. I don't know what he said. There's something he said. If someone can remember, can bring it to us.
It is what I was saying. He was saying that you can put the marginal notes on your left. But now we've made it clear that the best way is to do what has always been done, which is putting it on the right.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah,
and I want to add something. You have said in insertion of a new section in CAP 490, the one you're projecting for the central bank. Now, if you don't have this, can you say insertion of a new section
in the
because
principal act?
The one. Okay. Oh, okay. I get it now.
Yeah. If you don't have the CAP, don't guess. Just say insertion of a new section in the principal act. Yeah, that will be in order. Okay, so there is another what? There is another
amendment we have done. We share that amendment you've done.
Oh yeah, I'll share this one. Definitely I'll do. There's another bill for March. I'm not sure whether that best performed paper did that question. It was not it was not question 1. You know, question 1 you have to do it, otherwise you'll be penalized. So it was another question which was in question 1. I think it was question 4. Yeah, 4. I think so. Let me see which question it was for March. It was by the way, question 5. Let's see whether this person did question 5. Let's look at it together to what they scored. Here, this is March. This paper had a lot of letters. Question 1, you're supposed to, this question you're supposed to, question 1, you're supposed to draft a letter. Wait. Yeah, it's LWD. But it had a lot of letters. Question 2, it had a lot of letters. I think half of it, guys were drafting letters. Question 5 is draft a bill to convey the AG's instructions. So this is question 5. Let's see whether they've done question 5. Highest score. Yeah, they've done question 5. They have 0, 0, 8. Usually, your paper is marked by 2 guys. You're seeing these initials here. Yeah, question 1 could be marked by OJD. Question 2 is marked by KO. Question 3 is marked by YM, so it's not marked by 1 person. Anyway, so question 1 of importance is 5. We want to see where they put their marginal notes on the bill. So they have a response to a demand letter. This paper had a lot of letters. Yeah, part 1 is letter, part 2 is letter. I really don't know what the idea was. Yeah. So let's go to their question 5 to wameandika nini. By the way, what have they scored?
57.
What?
I
know, right? Yeah, you guys will score 57. I scored 56. But it's because most of those questions that were in that paper, I had drafted them. Okay, so question 5, that's what we're looking for here. So they were amending. It was an amendment question. Oh, okay. Okay, I see.
So Lydia, you can mean that the people who get 60 out of 60 in the exams.
Yeah. Okay, no, you'll get 59. Highly unlikely. They'll give you 60. But I don't know. Honestly, Sijui. But it's possible. If someone can get 58, it's possible. Anyway, so it's the title. You see, no one marks arrangement of clauses. You don't need it. The examiner has written there, seen. So don't write arrangement of clauses in an amendment bill. Sawa. So you start with your short title. You see the margins are on the right. No one is putting them on the left for these best performed papers, sindio? So hao watu walisema left, wewe ignore tu for
Msidanganywe asubuhi.
unajua the problem
Hii ni uongo wa mchana.
if they were marking the paper, you would listen to them. But if they're not marking, you just write on the left. Sindio? Yeah, they've scored 8. 8 out of 10. I'm
Just
not
to
sure
be
what they
safe.
didn't do. Yeah, there is another guy here who has 12. Yeah, I think the handwriting is not visible, sindio? You are writing very fast, eh? So look at this amendment bill. Anyway, read the question and then attempt to amend this. I think from the last class we discussed what a memorandum of object and reasons is. You could have it in your amendment bill. And then you have to equally date your bill and write who's introducing this bill or the sponsor for the bill. I'm not sure it's an 8. I don't know. I haven't read that question. Maybe there is something they didn't do, or it had an error, so they missed 2 marks. Yeah, but you could look at this paper. You attempt the questions, see whether you're on the righteous path. Yeah, but it had that paper had a lot of letters. So put your marginal notes on the right. Yes, David, please go on.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to request you to share that particular paper.
Those papers are, let me show you where they are. There are so many for last year, for all the years. Okay, from 2021, they're all there. So you will go to, let's go to you go to your search engine. Let me show you.
Are you sharing with us?
Project, please.
Okay, so you go to, okay, I'm projecting. So you go to, you type here, CLE website. And then you go here. The first thing that appears on your screen, Council of Legal, CLE, you click, and then you scroll down to here, downloads. Here, downloads, click downloads. And then here, it's telling you application for certificate of it. I don't know what that is. So you can start with March 2023, highest and lowest scores. It's here, civil, criminal, all of them, they're there. For March 2023. October 2022, they are all there. October 2022, there was one question guys were arguing. Question 1, guys were arguing whether it's an OS. Let me see, just a minute. I want to see whether it's an, I'm sorry. I want to see whether it's an OS. October last year's question 1. Yeah, anyway, so those papers are there. Just let me see this one. I scored, they have a 47. That's not good. If the highest stars are 47, things are bad. Of course, they've done question 1. Wait, is it civil? Yeah, it's civil. I want to see, I want to see the pleading. Question B. They've done a plaint. Yeah, it was a plaint. I'm not sure who. And some guys said it's an OS. They drafted an OS. I guess they didn't get the mark. So that question was an OS. Or maybe they marked both pleadings. I have no idea. I don't know.
Can they really mark to both pleading, a plaint and an
Sometimes they could mark 2 pleadings. There are some instances where you have an option of draft. Even in practice, sometimes you can do a petition or a judicial review and both will be marked. For example, this question, if you check order 37, it could insinuate an OS, but it should have been a plaint because of the nature of the prayers. Have you guys seen that question? Maybe you could attempt it and then see because of the nature of the prayers, and then the cause of action was breach of contract, so it's a tort. For tort claims, you will do a plaint. So it was a plaint. Yeah, interesting, yeah. And then here we said you write caption as per the plaint. Why are we discussing civil? I think I have never gotten a chance to look at it. Yeah. So it's captioned per the plaint. Don't draft list of documents, but it has to have a verifying affidavit. Unless the question tells you with all their accompanying. Oh, this is you draft a reference if you're dissatisfied with the decision of a taxing master. Then they had been told to draft. Okay, very well. Anyway, so those papers are there, all of them. There's another question for civil I want to see, but I'll check after class. It's okay. Ama, let's check. It's the paper for 2022 March. Did they put up March 2022 really? Can only see October 2020. Yeah, it's there. Let's see. Question 1 would have been a petition or a judicial review. Let's see whether they marked both pleadings. Highest scored, they have a 56. Question 1, they've scored an 18. So of interest is question 1. But as long as your handwriting is legible, no one, as long as you can see, as long as the marker can see, I think they really don't care whether it's a cute handwriting. This is question 1A, B. Wait, what? Are we looking at the correct paper? They've drafted a plaint. What? You guys, you're wondering what I am doing. Anyway, just a minute. I want us to discuss policy briefly before we finish the class. Ndio, at least you start drafting a policy. This guy did a plaint. Huh?
Imagine.
You know, apana. I think atuangalie the correct paper. I think they uploaded the wrong one, honestly. There's no way it can
So
be a
look
plaint.
at it.
Hata wapatiza wako kwa hiyo swali, si ndio? Huyo
Have you
CEO
confirmed that?
alikuwa na upload the wrong.
Have you confirmed that? The civil litigation?
This paper was done
Paper.
15th of May. Hi, apana. This is, I don't think this paper is, you see, if you read question 1 here, the parties are Kayundu says, sorry. This is March 2023. I was looking for March 2022. I was wondering why it's a plaint. Hiyo nitatafuta baadaye. Acha niache kuwapeleka through my escapades, yeah. So let's discuss policy kidogo before we finish the class, because I would like you guys to start drafting policies. You know, guys drafted a cabinet memorandum in that last paper. So I don't think you will draft a cabinet memo, but I'll share a copy of a cabinet memo with you, yeah. So a policy, I want to just scroll down to the parts that go into a policy. A policy is usually you will make a policy for purposes of making sure a particular process is followed. Yeah. So a policy is to support your some processes, or to stipulate some set of laws. Yeah. So a policy could be for an institution. There's some factors that you consider when making a policy. Maybe we schedule this class for another day because it's already 10:23. But I have to tell you, this is what I was looking for: stages in formulation of a policy, and then you finish the class. So you have to know what a policy is first. There's a policy called by LSK, sexual harassment policy. And it's a really, really good policy. It's available online. If you type sexual harassment, LSK sexual harassment policy, you'll find it. It has really good, it's a good policy. It's comprehensive, yeah? So just allow us to schedule this for another class, because I think it doesn't make sense to discuss stages in policy formulation yet you haven't discussed features of a policy. But in the meantime, I would like you to read the LSK sexual harassment policy, before the next class, and then you look at those best performed paper. You know, they keep you on your toes. Yeah. You're able to know it's actually possible to get a 57, you know, and it's not even, you might find that guy who scored a 57, they put in effort towards the last month of the exam. Yeah. So it's possible to actually get, it's easy. So do you have any questions? In the meantime, please draft a lot. You know, writing that
Yes.
paper, yeah, it takes time. You can't be a slow writer. It's a lot of, okay, let me show you the one that you've been doing. Evans, please go on as I get that paper.
Yes, this LSK sexual harassment, is it with anti-bullying policy 2019?
Yeah, that one. It's a very good policy. Okay. You see this dude, this guy, you wouldn't know who it is. Maybe it's a guy, but you don't know because the name is blurred. The registration number, rather, you can't see it. So this guy, he's written the first page.
Check the handwriting.
It's hard. Second page, third page, fourth page, fifth page, sixth page, seventh page, ninth page, 10th page, 11th page, 12th page, 13, 14, 15. What? 16, 17, 18. Like it's a lot of writing. So if you don't start writing right now, I promise you utateseka, because you'll be trying to write fast, your fingers start aching, you stop. So you have to have been writing. In the last class for LWD, I gave you a list of what to draft. Make sure you've drafted an amendment bill, you've drafted a bill, you've done a statutory declaration, you've drafted an affidavit, you've done a demand letter, you've done a legal opinion, you've done a cabinet memo, you've done legislative instruction. We'll discuss legislative instructions in the next class.
Repeat those again, please.
Okay, so you start with the demand letter, and then there is a, okay, let me type as I say it, because I know I don't know how to pace myself. It's an everyday struggle. Okay, let's use these documents that we're using for this. Yeah.
So sorry for interrupting. Maybe once we are done with the policy and the other, we can be drafting one at a time. Next, we do a statutory declaration, like that.
We draft all of them. Still, I couldn't agree more. I agree absolutely. So let me give you that list, and then we'll be ticking it off one by one. So in case you're asked to draft anything, you know exactly what to draft. Yeah. So this will be your list. Unajua towards the exam, adrenaline, hata hakuna usingizi, you're alert, kama umefungua macho kama mosquito. Okay, so LWD drafting. Drafting, yeah. So let's call this 20. This is your cohort. How do you write cohort? Cohort, things like that. All right. So the first one, a list of documents that you'll have to remember how to draft. Demand letter. Number 2, response to demand letter. Number 3, legal opinion. Number 4, office memorandum. Number 5, statutory declaration. Number 6, affidavits. Number 7, deed poll. Number 8, power of attorney. Number 9, bill. Amendment bill. Why is it too far from the rest? Amendment bill. Why is it not there? Okay, I have no idea what's going on. Amendment bill, and then legislation. Sorry, regulation. Like the
It's in
regulations.
puberty. That's grown, it became puberty or
Regulation,
adolescent.
regulations, policy, drafting instructions, equal legislative instructions. (14) Cabinet memorandum. (15) Let me see which one I've missed.
Case brief.
Oh, case brief. Yeah, let's put case brief here.
Among those on top. Case brief. Then
Yeah, case-
write another number 9. Then they can change. Write another number 9. Bill
Bill is there.
is number 10. Yes, I'm seeing it. But I'm saying
Yeah.
for it to change this behavior, maybe you write another 9. Then you write bill. Because
Wewe wacha maneno yako.
mimi nakwambia write 9. Write
Sijui
9, then bill.
It's okay.
You,
we
you
don't
try,
have
you
to.
see.
Oh, there is another thing.
Is that okay? Okay.
Unajua si wewe unaona content. What else?
Nilikuwa nakuibia siri kwa bure.
Hiyo maneno yako mimi sitaki mimi. Okay, yeah, I think that's
Hakuna
so.
shida.
Have we left out
Utaingia
anything
tu
else?
box.
Okay. So it's a list of, so let me tell you something. You know, this one, I think we'll have to reduce the font for us to see everything on the screen. So this one, guys drafted this one in March 2023, and then a power attorney in October 2022, and then this one in April 2022, and then this one in March. It's so silent outside. And then the one.
They drafted it as question 1.
Which one?
Was it question 1?
Which one?
Those March 2023. That one for cabinet memorandum. Was
No,
it question 1?
This one wasn't one. It wasn't one. There was no question. The only question 1 here was this one. This was question 1. And this one was equally 1. This one was there as well. In March 2023, question 6. Okay, my point is, but it was in drafting. Wait, it was drafting. Yeah, it was. So you could, this one was equally there. It was drafting. This is October 2022. It's too, we won't do this right now because I know you guys might ignore some of these things. And this one was equally in March 2020. This year, 2023. What you do, buy a blank book. In that book, draft a demand letter and then go to a past paper question, attempt it. And you have to write very fast. You know, it's a lengthy document. All of these documents are lengthy. Yeah. But we'll be doing each one of these as we tick them off. So we've already done these two. We will, once we do it, we put color green. Sindio, Sibasi we'll do a policy in the next class. We'll do at least 2 other documents in the next. There are others that we can combine. For example, all of these we can do in a single class because they are not lengthy documents. Sindio? This was 2023, not 2022.
Yes.
Okay, so let's save this document. Let's remove color. And then we'll start afresh. And then we delete this. I don't want to do this. It's too risky. It's too early. You know, you might you might say, you know, Lydia said, you know, Lydia said that they wouldn't examine this because it was there, but we're not doing that right now. Okay, so let's save this document. We will be using this. No, I'll never forget that you created it with you. So let's save it. Let me save it in my. I have folders now. So your major task. Your major task is making sure that you can draft. You know, all of them have formats. All those documents have formats. You know the format and you can draft them very quickly. Otherwise, by the way, you might find yourself you've done 2 questions and half of LWD paper your draft. Actually, not even half, 80% you're drafting. So you have to write extremely fast. So let's finish the class at this juncture. We call it a night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a restful one. But I'm always here. If you amend, you can send. I see what you've written. And then I could maybe give you my unsolicited opinion. Okay. Thank you so much for the indulgence. See you guys tomorrow. Yes, please go.
Before you go, you tomorrow, at what time are we going to get the recording for this class?
So what you could do, I could share it before. How soon do you need it?
Anytime tomorrow.
You need to listen to it. I know you guys have timetables.
Yes.
Tomorrow, yeah. So I'll I have to wait for it to be ready for me to download it and then send to your email. But at least tomorrow by midday, I'll right now I'm at my A game because I know time is running out. I'll prioritize you guys because I'm all about you. Okay. Okay, have a good one.
Lydia, before you go,
and also
that case for the one that we are drafting is for which year? That one for grass. Which year was it? That one that you had showed us. Which year was it? Which year was it? The one that you were trying to do.
Which one?
The one that I was answering. Yes, that LWD question was for which year?
It was 2015.
Yes.
Question 8. 2015 November question 8.
Okay. Sawa. Thank you.
Aya, sawa. Asanteni sana. Mungu awaonekanie kwa masomo yenu. Yeah?
Do we have an official timetable yet from CLE?
Amen. They have not yet produced it.
I haven't checked their website, but if they have it, it's on their website and their Twitter. I think maybe before the end of the week. I don't think they've posted it. Otherwise,
they have not yet posted. Even our project marks have not been released yet.
Okay. But it's okay. What do you need them for?
Kujipanga.
Planning purposes.
We work like hauna hiyo marks. Assume you have a 2.
Or a 0.
Just assume you have nothing. Do you know those guys who get sijui oral 18 wamepata project 19 wanaumanga nje because they get overconfident. So you just work like you have nothing. Actually hata marks za orals ignore because unajiambia wewe unatafuta marks 15, si ndio? Hivyo ndio mnataka. So assume you don't have those marks and work like you're working for a 50.
That's the way we lie to ourselves.
Nakupea some sort of confidence to face the exam. Yeah. So ulizieni huko, ambia student leader akaulize marks ziko wapi. Sawa sawa. I'll see you guys kesho. Have a restful one and thank you so much for the indulgence. It was a very lively session. I really enjoyed myself. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Santeni sana.
Good night.
Good night.